Browns holding their final practice today before their home opener against the Jets on Sunday at FirstEnergy Stadium. One player who was not here, rookie defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey. Mary Kay, disciplinary reasons, and Kevin Stefanski wouldn't even go into detail as to whether Perrion Winfrey would play on Sunday or be available on Sunday with these disciplinary issues.
No, he wouldn't give anything up at all, and he seemed still kind of miffed about the whole thing. But we talked to Myles Garrett in the locker room after that, and Myles came out and said Perrion needs to learn how to be a pro. So he gave us a little bit of insight. He also said that the players didn't have to bring this issue to the attention of Kevin Stefanski, and that basically it was apparent whatever it was. So they're trying to work through this.
And Ashley, obviously a lot of people got excited about Perrion with the barking press conference and all of that, but this is a guy, when they drafted him, it was going to be a little bit of a project. He was a fourth-round pick.
Yeah, and this is kind of why these sort of disciplinary things, when they come up with players like this, it's not good, right? Like, obviously you're on, I think, a bit of a shorter leash, and you are still a rookie, so that leash becomes even shorter, I think. But yeah, it was interesting, like Mary Kay said, to kind of hear what Myles Garrett had to say about it, that this was something that was obviously a violation of team rules without having any further details.
Now, speaking of Myles, he's got a chance to potentially set the official team's sack record on Sunday. He is getting close. I think he'd need about 4 sacks to do it, maybe 3 sacks to get there. So it would have to be a big day, but Mary Kay Myles is certainly capable of that. As you'd expect, he sort of downplayed it today and said what matters to him is winning, but I have an inkling that he does care about getting that record at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure he would really, really appreciate it, but he's also trying to stay focused, and he's trying to set the tone for the rest of the team, that we really have to look at this next game and just try to win it. So he can't very well be out there talking about wanting to break a record or set a record or whatever. But I think it would be really cool for him to do it on the same day that Joe Thomas goes into the Legends class. So, you know, 2 sort of icons in Browns history doing something cool on the same day.
And Ashley, when you kind of look at this opportunity that he has in that Jets front and Joe Flacco, anything's possible.
Yeah, Dan, you're the one who keeps bringing up on our podcast that the Jets' left side of that offensive line gave up 12 quarterback pressures, right? Correct?
Right,
okay.
correct.
Yeah, 12 quarterback pressures. So Myles Garrett should eat on Sunday, I think. But unless, like we've talked about, maybe Joe Flacco's a little quicker to get the ball out. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But I think the opportunities against the line in particular will be there for Myles.
You're going to see that stat again, by the way. 3 things to watch coming up over the week. You'll get to read that stat again. One last thing, Jack Conklin, same process as last week. A chance that maybe he'll get to go. They'll test him out pregame. Mary Kay, how are you feeling about Conklin maybe getting out there?
Well, Kevin Stefanski said today that he's really, really close. Is that close enough to play on Sunday? Not really sure. Sometimes it comes down to pregame warm-ups, and the player has an opportunity to tap out if he doesn't feel ready to go, or he can say, let's roll. So we'll have to see how Jack feels on Sunday. But against this aggressive attacking front, it would help to have him.
Yeah, and Chris Hubbard will be out, Ashley. And look, Jack Conklin was kind of all smiles last week when he came off the field after warm-up. So who really knows? It's always tough to read that stuff, but there is at least a chance he could be out there.
Yeah, but the one thing I think to keep an eye on, or to remember, I should say, and Kevin Stefanski was asked about this today, the Browns have a short turnaround next week. They have the Thursday night game against the Steelers coming up. Of course, I think in general, it's kind of common on these short weeks, if you have guys who are questionable, to maybe just hold them and let them go the next week. So it might not be anything to quote-unquote worry about necessarily, but it's definitely a possibility.
All right, there you go. A whole bunch here on a Friday as the Browns get ready for the New York Jets on Sunday. We'll cover everything at cleveland.com/Browns.